Okay, I found my spot. The big question is whether I'm going to try to shovel down to the ground or just pat it down and put the tent in this area. Snow's nice and light, so I'm going to give shoveling a try. But I'm putting up my big tent. This is going to be a place that I'm going to be at for a while. So I'm going to make a few trips, have it well stocked, so it's worth putting the effort in now to get it comfortable. I do prefer to have the floor in, but we'll see how it goes. This video is sponsored by Algonquin Pines Campground, the perfect jump-off point for all your Algonquin Park adventures. And Princess Auto, a unique world of equipment, tools, and more. Okay. Standing on the ground here. The snow's up at mid-thigh. So there we go. Thanks, Scout. Trust me, it'll be warmer when it's done. Okay, so I've just cleared the space for the ground tarp. The canvas part zips into this ground sheet. This is a 5-meter bell tent. I get asked all the time about my tents. I'll put a link in the description. It's an Amazon link. If you do use it, I get a little commission, just disclaimer. I would really appreciate it, but that's not why I'm putting it there. I get asked all the time about the tents. So again, this is a canvas tent, 5 meters. And now I'm going to stake things in as best I can. Hopefully they grab. If they don't, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. And then I'll zip in the canvas, put in the center pole, get the stove in there, and start a fire. I'm pretty zonked. That's a lot of work clearing this much snow. Oh boy. Okay, here comes the fun part. Scout nose. This tent has 2 doors, and there's metal bars that keep this one open and the back one open. I lost my two. Scout's been in this tent lots of times. Oh boy, the beer is going to taste good tonight. Whew. There we go. Almost just the next time. It's getting dark. Okay, it's getting much later than I would have liked. Now I just got to put the supports in that kind of pull the skirt away from the inside of the tent, but I'm going to have to dig snow. I wasn't really thinking that, or I just forgot about it, I guess. I don't know if you can see this. I went around and I walked on basically on top of the tent, and I threw the guy lines on top of the snow because I have to, there's no way I can dig to the bottom, but I have long enough stakes where I've just been throwing them into the snow and packing them down with my snowshoes, and it's getting a pretty solid connection there, so that's what I'm doing. And these are the last ones I gotta do. Well, it's 6:30. I finally got all my stuff transported from my truck to the tent. It's taken me much longer than I anticipated. I have my Jackery with me, and I have a strong light, but it's running out of power, so I'm trying to save it. So right now, I'm trying to get a fire going so I can warm this tent up. I'm going to take my time, make sure I get enough kindling. I brought a little bit of firewood with me. Obviously, I didn't want to spend too much time first night here. I have my buddy heater. I have my buddy heater running right now, keeping Scout warm. You can see my breath in here. It's still pretty cold, so I'm really looking forward to getting the fire going. And I'm starving. Beyond starving. In case you're wondering what I put in there, it's just a charcoal barbecue lighter that you use to get charcoal going. Weber makes it, but it works great. It's the best fire starter you can ever use. I'll probably be going to sleep very soon, so I'll give you a tour in the morning. I just wanted to say special thanks to Algonquin Pines Campground. Algonquin Pines Campground is a perfect jump-off point to get into Algonquin Park. It's on Highway 60 on the way to Algonquin if you're coming from Toronto, and it's definitely worth checking out. So thanks to Algonquin Pines. And that'll be it for tonight. I'm going to bed. So good morning, this is the setup. I got a fire going. I do keep a buddy heater and a propane tank to get the tent warmed up a little bit anyways until we can get a fire going. The fire generally never lasts throughout the night. I've never been able to do it anyways without it being so hot in here that it's uncomfortable when you go to bed, right? And I go to bed early on these trips because I'm exhausted. So the goal is to stock up with firewood, so I don't have to keep doing this. It's only 9:30 this morning, so if I get a good stock of firewood, I'll feel better. And then I want to make a nice soup, a ham hock split pea soup over the stove, and I can let that simmer, and that should be a nice tasty dinner for a nice hot tent. Let's go. Go. that's cheating, but I just took some coal. I just stole some coals out of the stove. Throw them on there. Instant fire. Well, I've never used a frozen onion to cook with before, so I don't think it's going to be great, but we'll see. Winter camping, these are the things you got to take into consideration. But hey, my eyes aren't burning. Thank you. Gonna boil some water for some chicken stock. Chicken bouillon into boiling water. Fire's doing okay. Alright, so for the split pea soup, first we gotta put some broth in here. Minimal bark, that's good. One. Not too bad. put one, oh, this is a big one too. So one smoked ham hock. It's gonna go in there. We're gonna bring this to a boil. We'll put some more water in there. I'll put some split peas, about a cup. A little bit of thyme. And a few frozen bay leaves. Well, I'm actually ahead of schedule for a change. It's like 3 o'clock. And what I'm going to do now is bring this to a boil. And it should simmer for about an hour, hour and a half. And that ham hock is just going to really be nice and tender. So when it's done, I take that out, strip all the ham from the ham hock, put it back in, put some fresh frozen peas in there. And some Dijon mustard, and wait till you see it, it's going to be awesome. Oh. Snow on there. Okay. Got 2 fires going. Stove is going good. The fire I got going here with my split pea soup is going well. The wood that I cut, it was you know, obviously a dead tree, but it's still not seasoned, right? So it is a little trickier keeping the fires going with kind of green wood, basically. I mean, like I said, the trees were dead, obviously, if you saw them. But it doesn't mean they're seasoned. They haven't, you know, normally you would split wood and it would dry out. But here and there, we got some good fires going. Scout has had her dinner and she's chilling on her mat. I'll give you a tour, maybe in another video, of the whole setup. But yeah, I mean, there was a ton of work to get this set up. But once you do, you got to be here for a long time. Like I'm living out here for a while, and it's been enjoyable. A lot of work to set up, but once you get it set up, man, it's really comfortable. Cutting some wood to keep the fires going. You know, and my snowshoes to get through this gorgeous landscape, like 3 feet of snow everywhere. It's pretty cool. So what I wanted to do is set up a nice base camp. It's comfortable here. I can actually film and still kind of enjoy myself. Sometimes it's a little too much work, but I have a stockpile of wood now and all my food situations set up. And tomorrow, Scout and I are going to venture off even further, as if this isn't far enough, to a cliff that has a beautiful lookout. So we're going to set up my small tent there and spend the night and just enjoy the amazing scenery, and I think it's calling for more snow. There's no shortage of that. Let's go. Good girl, right here. Come on, show everybody you can retrieve when you want to. Come on. Come on. Okay. Here you go. You gotta get it. Get it. Good girl. Get it. Good girl. Go. Chilly, huh? Snow's deeper than you. Ready? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, out, out. So I really got a good bed of coals going now, so now I have to kind of move the pot off to the side when it gets too warm. But there's worse problems I have. Very nice. So there's not a lot of meat on that ham hock. I know it might look a little too big for what I got going on there. But I'm going to take it out, shred all the meat off and put it back in the soup. And then add some, like I said, some peas and some mustard. It'll get thick. It's going to be really good. Okay, that should be done for being outside. Pot's on the wood stove. It has legs on it, which I'm sure has a purpose, but it would actually work better if it didn't have the legs for me, because I could actually cook on the wood stove with it. It doesn't get hot enough because the legs kind of keep it a good 1.5 inches away from the surface of the wood stove. But for what I want, just keeping it warm, it'll do for tonight. I try to keep as much water toward the front of the door with the snow. Obviously I'm in and out of the tent quite a bit. So what I'm standing on are lids for my storage containers. They're just from Home Depot, but they kind of do double duty. So the storage bins keep my stuff, and then the lids, because they're raised, actually they kind of hold the water in, and as the snow melts it kind of stays there, and I've been dumping it out into the snow gradually as the day goes on. Oh man, but now it's time for the Crocs. Looking forward to getting these boots off, because I really don't have to go outside for the rest of the night. So now I'm going to shred the meat off of the ham hock, smoked ham hock. Put that back into the soup. And then mix in some peas and some mustard. Grill me some bread. And dinner will be served. Oh, it smells good. Lots of leftovers for Scout. What's nice about this is I can let it cool off and I can warm it up. There's lots here. So when I'm out with Scout exploring and I want to come back and cook, I just heat it up. I got a great hearty meal. Scout's been loving all the fat. This smoked ham hock, there's just nothing like it. You can cut up pieces of ham, but something about smoked ham hock for split pea soup, it just brings it to another level. Lots of fat on there, so it takes a while to pick through it. Oh, look at that. Let that simmer for a little bit. Well, this looks like it turned out pretty good. So for all the meals I made on YouTube, I think this one turned out the best. It's such a hearty meal. I didn't think I'd ever be able to make it on a trip, but I'm glad I did. Oh. Oh man. And the best part of this, I was able to share it with Scout. There's a lot of fat on the ham hock, so I gave her quite a bit of that. She's got a full belly now. She's curled up on her blanket, and I'm enjoying this. It's so good. And the frozen onions turned out good too.